Just quickly, my name is Bruce. I'm the chairman of the AlphaEight Institute, and I just want to welcome you here. I'll hand over to Gary in a sec, but we are we've always been focused on personal skills, soft skills, what it's called soft skills, and leadership type training. And we were asked recently to become involved in business analytics as well. And we sort of thought it was a pretty natural fit because we work with the software of people's minds. And now we're talking about working with another type of software. And we're starting, as you know, we're starting some certification courses in business analytics. And Gary is helping us. And he's a very interesting guy. I'm sure he'll tell you a lot of funny stories as well as give you a lot of information about business analytics. Okay, so that's my job, is just to welcome you and to hand over to Gary. And have a pleasant evening. I'm sure you'll find out a lot. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Bruce. I appreciate it. Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about me, so now I can get started. First things first. If I start talking too fast, please tell me to slow down. If you have any questions, you can ask me now, or you can hold and write it down and ask me later, afterwards. But I want to give you a background about me. First of all, I'm the first in my family. I did grow up in America, in the States, but my family was very poor. So my father was a milkman. He delivered milk to the entire village, or the city. So I grew up, I'm the first in my family to ever go to college. But I went to a weird college. In America, they have the big universities. You hear about the big ones. I went to the university they advertised on TV because I couldn't afford any other university, right? So I started, but it was just a very basic 3-year college that you get through. And I went to college, exactly kind of what we're doing here. Like you were saying, you want to start over, for programming, computer programming. This was in 1990s. I hated programming. Sucks. Computer programming, to a point, it's okay now, but back in the day, it was horrible. So I started doing programming, but I didn't like it. Couldn't do anything with it. That was my biggest issue, right? So then I started, the reason I even got into business analytics in the first place was there was a girl that I liked, and her mother told me about this company called SAS, and they lived near this company, and they said, you need to get involved with this. I'm like, okay, I really like this girl, so I just applied for the job, not knowing what business analytics was. I had no idea what SAS was, but my background was in land administration, IT, right? So, and I understood a little bit about computers, but not a lot. So they hired me because they were desperate. They didn't have enough people. So they hired me to work for this company, SAS. And as soon as I took the job, I broke up with the girl. So it was kind of a moot point, but that got me into it. The first thing I started doing with SAS was work for a company called, because SAS as a company does business analytics, which is basically statistics. It predicts the future using math, which is another thing. I hate math. So I hate programming and I hate math. The two things that people need, especially in the accounting side. Accounting side was my worst. So those three things what made me feel like I would never find a job or get into it. So when I got hired with SAS, my first opportunity was with Pfizer. SAS sent me to Pfizer. Pfizer makes Viagra, right? Viagra had just came out that year. So I was on a plane to go to New York City to work for Pfizer. And then World Trade Center got hit, September 11th. So my trip got delayed. And then the next week I went back because what Pfizer wanted is Viagra.com. They owned it, the website. What they wanted to find out is how many people were going to the website. Who were these people going to the website? How were they going to use Viagra? Other than, we knew sex, but why? Was it because they're older? Is it because they're younger? Why? Those are the questions they had to have answered. So when I went there, that's when it started getting interesting for me. Because now I'm using a little bit of math, a little bit of tools, a little bit of statistics to find out humans. This is the first tool in software that the whole goal is to find out about yourselves more and more. Why do people do this? Why do people do that? And that's what got me into business analytics. and I was working in the States for 2 years, and then I wanted to know, as an American, most Americans are very, how would you say, have no idea about the rest of the world. They have no clue. Americans do not know where Hong Kong is. They think it's Japan. Most Americans think only about America. I'm not knocking them, but I'm an American. So I wanted to live in Europe. So I went to work in Europe and started working there. And then I'm like, is this the way the rest of the world works? And then I got an opportunity to work in South Africa. So I went to go do business analytics in South Africa because they were desperate. Every country that I would go to had a huge demand. They needed people to do SaaS and business analytics. There wasn't enough people. Then the last place was here in Hong Kong. Now, I'm supposed to I don't work for SaaS anymore. SaaS wanted to send me to Russia. Russia is in a desperate need for business analytics and SaaS. I didn't want to leave Hong Kong. I love Hong Kong. I think Greater China and Asia is the hottest market on the planet right now. You haven't even started reaching the potential of what you can do with business analytics. It's just starting. Let's talk about Toyota. Toyota is not a Hong Kong company. It's out of Japan. So Toyota, remember when America was against Toyota? Remember when the brakes? Yeah, it still is, because they're trying to get American bought goods, right? So they got Toyota, they got the Toyota. So anyway, you notice that when America was against Toyota, sales for Toyota went down. Easy. That's an easy one to predict. Sales on. However, when you looked at Facebook, and you looked at YouTube, and you looked at Twitter, all these social media things, Google, everyone liked Toyota cars. Everyone has a Toyota. The emotional element, they call it sentiment. The sentiment for Toyota was high. So when you talk about your portals and stuff, you look at a dashboard that shows sales numbers going this way, going down, sentiment or emotion, positive feelings towards Toyota is high. What does that mean from a financial perspective? Their stock is going to rise. The future of business analytics is bringing both math and the emotion together. Right now, when you go to a bank and you ask for a bank loan, right? You're asking for a bank loan. You can either say yes or they say no, and that's it, right? It's only yes or no, because they look at your credit scores and they crunch all this information together. In the future, what's going to happen is when you sit out, the bank say, "I would like a bank loan." They're going to look at all the stuff you have and say, "You know what? We can't give it to you now, but based on if you do this, if you'll pay this off, and then if you'll do this, like you'll get this smaller loan, and then once you pay that off, we can give you this bigger loan." They're going to start leading you down a path to be that perfect customer. Instead of now, they just say, "I'm sorry, I can't give you the loan." They need to know how you behave. They need to be able to watch how you move and how you work to predict what they can give you and know that you're going to be a good customer. That's what we're doing. We are those people that do that prediction.